back to Comic Beyond. In this episode, we're going to be covering the Predator versus Dredd. So, it's a three-issue miniseries. It's very short, and I tell you, by issue one, it hits the ground running because it just gets into the story and it's like action-packed all the way through. So, in the beginning of the story, you got like some scavenger people out in like the wasteland area, and they see what they think is a shooting star, but it's actually the Predator ship crashing. And of course, they go and investigate, see what it is, which gets him killed by the Predator. He makes his way to the city, and it just goes from there, man. It's action packed. And it reminds me a lot of the Predator 2 concept, because I'm going to explain the parallels. So in the comic, he goes to the city and he starts taking out judges left and right, which, that's why he pops up on Dredd's, radar. But at the same time, it's in the middle of like a gang war. And so that's what the judges are actually dealing with prior to the Predator showing up. And so the string of murders are happening, the judges are being taken out, and that's what gets Dredd investigating it. And then he finally makes contact with the Predator, and the Predator whoops him. He kind of lays him out. And they're like, we don't know what this thing is. We need intel. We need to know what's going on. And just so you know, I don't know if you know much about the Dredd character, and I know a little bit. And what little bit I do know is he's a rough and tumble, like hard hitting, basically cop. And so for him to get wiped by the Predator was, to me, a pretty funny, interesting thing. So in the world of Judge Dredd, they have psychics, and I think they call them PSI agents or something like that. But so they use her to try to track down the Predator, and from the fight with Dredd, he actually had a sample of the Predator blood. So they're trying to research it and see if they've ever discovered it before. Well, the psychic girl, she ends up making a link with it. She actually drinks the vial of blood they had, the sample, and it connects her, like, psychically, so she's able to track where the Predator's at, his location. So that leads them to his whereabouts, where he's hiding out. Now, Dredd's out for blood. He wants to avenge the judges and this and that. She actually doesn't want to kill the Predator. She actually wants to help it because she senses it's in pain, like it's already dying. And with Dredd's, he's not listening to it. He's like, nah, no, this thing's dangerous. So he goes in, and it's actually funny because he just throws down. He ain't even using weapons, and he it's just his helmet, his pants, and he's like shirtless, and he's ready to go. And so they start fighting, him and the Predator, and he's holding his own this time. Dredd's like, you took me down once, I'm not going to let it happen again, and also you done killed some of my buddies. So they start fighting, and she's like, no, don't kill it, don't do this, blah, 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 I can save him. So Dredd rescues some of the judges that hadn't been killed yet, that the Predator had taken. He gets them out, and then Dredd has to go back inside to try to get the psychic girl. And in doing so, it leads to another fight. Dredd, shoots the Predator, killing him. And she's like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, yeah, no, I did. And he's like, is it dead? And so her psychic link with the Predator fades away. And she's like, no, you killed him. And so she wasn't too happy about it, but, they move on and they discuss, why he had to do what he had to do. But the parallel I wanted to make with the story to the Predator 2 movie, in Predator 2, the movie starts off kind of like how this book starts off. It just hits the ground running. You're in LA, there's a gang war. You have a detective and other detectives and cops showing up, and they're trying to, stop it. They're being killed. Things happen. They figure out that there's a predator creature thing running around the city. You got Danny Glover, the cop that's investigating, tracking it down, and eventually duking it out, and uses the little blade disc thing to kill it. So I like this story, the miniseries, but there was a lot of similarities to Predator 2, and I've noticed that throughout some of these Predator stories we've covered and some other ones I've read, they use Predator 2 a lot for reference, and story beats. And so, I mean, that's fine, but this was an okay story. It's only 3 issues. The artwork's okay. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I like the design of the Predator in the book. He looked pretty cool, pretty badass. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It goes by really fast, so it's not a long read. You can read it in like a few minutes, all 3 issues. But yeah, it's hard hitting. It's like an 80s action movie, just non-stop action from one beat to the other. But I like the character of Judge Dredd. I liked him in this. I'm a fan of both the Stallone and Carl Urban Dredd movies. I've read like some Dredd comics, but it ain't like I read them consistently. They were like I picked up a random issue here, a random issue there, and checked it out. So I know a little bit about what's going on with Dredd. But yeah, check it out. It's again not hard to find. Well, I ain't gonna say that. It was kind of hard to find. I had to really try hard to get this off eBay. But I don't think it's collected. I've never seen it in trade anywhere. So the best bet's probably Comixology. Check it out on there if they got it. Especially if you're a Predator fan. If you are a Dredd fan, this is a good addition to check out. But I wanted to do this episode. I know I did the Green Lantern episode, but I just wanted to get us caught up because I know I was trying to do like a little series of the Predator and Aliens with the DC characters and other superheroes. So I just wanted to throw out another extra episode. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're able to check it out, maybe if you can find it. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.